You know what time it is, guys? It's Redstone time! What up, guys and fellow lovers of the keyboard world? Welcome, and thanks for stopping by. I'm Giorgio, of course, and you chose a good one because today I'm gonna be showing you this little system that's behind me. It is a small industrial brewing system, and I say industrial because it can produce a double chest of potions in around 5 minutes and completely automatically. But before we get into the video, I wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas or Merry Holidays, of course, if you don't celebrate Christmas as I do. I know I'm a tad late to do that, but I basically was computerless last week. The screen of my laptop broke and I had to order a new one. It took some days to get here, and well, then Christmas celebrations happened. But still, I wanted to wish you so, and in case I don't see you very soon, I also want to wish you all the best for this new 2023 that is just around the corner. And I hope you achieve all your goals and that all your hopes and dreams come true, of course. And yeah, happy, very happy holidays. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy 2023 in case I don't see you. And yeah, the brewing system. So yeah, anyways, the brewing system is this one. It's a very compact one. It's a high productive one. As I said, it can produce a double chest in around 5 minutes, and it's completely automatic. It's fully automatic. Just turn it on once, and it will keep producing potions as long as you have space for them, and as long as it has ingredients in the system, of course. You can see it's a very small system as well. It is, I think, let me actually see. I have the schematic right here already. It is a 15 by 4 blocks system, and also it is 9 blocks height. So yeah, it's a pretty small layout for a 5 brewing stand system. And I will show you. I was debating with myself if I should do a tutorial or not, but you know what, it's been so long that I have done a proper block by block tutorial that I want to do one for this redstone contraption. So I guess let's get right into it. By the way, look at the chests. It's Christmas time again, so yeah, they're they have this cute look to them. They look like presents. But anyways, yeah, the output chest is always a good way of starting building a mechanism because it's where you want your actual output for the system. So it's very common that you build around the output. So yeah, my chest is gonna be right here, and we're gonna place a comparator facing out with a repeater as well in front of it. Then we're gonna place 6 blocks just like so, and we're gonna cover them with some redstone dust. After you place the resin dust, we have to bring it up, but we have to do some tricky wiring so that it doesn't touch any of the rest of the system. So we're gonna place a block and a resin dust, resin torch on top of it, with a block also on top of it. Then we're gonna place a repeater facing out of that block and into another block with another resin torch on top of it, and we're gonna finally top it off with another resin torch on top of it. We then are gonna place a lever right on that block, and we're gonna turn it on, which means that the system is gonna be turned off by default. And yeah, from here we're gonna place a stick piston facing this way with an observer right onto its face, also facing the same way. We're gonna leave that on hold, and we're gonna come to this side. On this side, we're gonna place a block right next to this torch and a comparator on top of this block facing into that other block. Then we're gonna place 2 hoppers facing into each other right behind the comparator, just like so. On the first hopper right here, we're gonna place a block, and we're gonna place a torch right on top of the other hopper, but on this face of this block. Then we're gonna come to this side, and we're gonna place a block right next to that hopper with a comparator on top of it, facing right into that block. Now we're gonna also leave this on hold because we need some brewing stands, 5 to be exact, and we're gonna place the first one right next to that block. We're gonna place a temporary block right next to that brewing stand, and then we're gonna place another brewing stand, also temporary block, the brewing stand, and we do this two more times until we have placed the 5 brewing stands just like this. On top of each brewing stand, we're gonna place 2 hoppers facing downward, just like I'm doing right here. And once you have your 10 hoppers placed, we're gonna come to the left side of each hopper, and we're gonna of each top hopper, and we're gonna place a hopper facing into that last hopper, right like this. Be sure that each hopper is right to the left of the downwards facing hopper, just as you can see right here. The reason why we place these hoppers is because we need some droppers facing right into them, right on the other side. So we're gonna just place them um, already, just like so. Each of them is facing into that hopper. Now we're gonna see these droppers as pairs in the future, so keep that in mind. Each pair is determined by the hopper facing downwards and its hopper facing inwards with to the left. So this is a pair of droppers, then this is a pair of droppers, then this is a pair of droppers, and so on and so forth. So yeah, just keep that in mind for the future. So now we're gonna come to this side and we're gonna place hoppers facing into the brewing stands just like so, and we're gonna do the same on the other side. Right like that. So once we place those, we're gonna grab some composters and we're gonna place them on top of these hoppers. Make sure that it's on top of the hoppers that are on the side of the redstone line. By the way, this is just for blaze powder. These hoppers are gonna be for blaze powder, and I consider that an entire hopper is basically a lot of blaze powder already, so probably enough. And that's why I'm already only placing one hopper right behind the brewing stands, or right to the side. But if you want, you can replace these composters for chests or barrels if you want to have more blaze powder inside of the brewing stands. But I mean, this is already quite a lot, so yeah, you just fill up the brewing stands and the hoppers right below the composters with some blaze powder and you're good to go. So once you've placed all the blaze powder that you want inside of these hoppers, you come to the other side to these hoppers. And you're gonna place to the right of each hopper an observer facing upward, just like this, right like that. And we're gonna leave them on hold as well for a second. The reason to have these hoppers here is because we need to feed the brewing stands with some water bottles somehow. And well, I didn't want to have like a huge storage of water bottles right on this side, so we're gonna do a little system here so that the glass bottles, the empty glass bottles, will fill up with water and yeah, be sent to the brewing stands every time we are brewing new potions. So we're gonna place a dispenser facing upward right on top of each hopper, just like so. And then we're gonna place a dropper right to the right side of the dispensers right here on top of the observers. So 5 droppers just like so. And then we're gonna grab some leaves. I prefer flowering Azalea leaves because they're very nice. And we're gonna place them on top of the dispensers. In case you didn't know this already, this is a new mechanic, a relatively new mechanic that they've added, and we can just waterlog the leaves with some water, of course. And yeah, the water stays right inside the leaves. Actually, we can place just the leaves, and the water won't spill anywhere, which I find really cool. Oh yeah, I forgot. If you break them, be sure to before collect the water. Okay, so yeah, the water, the leaves, the waterlogged leaves are to fill up the bottles with some water. So yeah, these droppers are gonna be filled up with empty glass bottles. But in case you need or you want a bigger storage, you can just place some hoppers right on top of these droppers facing into them as well, and you can fill them up also with water bottles, and you can even add some barrels or some double chests on top of these hoppers, So to have like a bigger storage, and I think 9 stacks plus 5 stacks of 14 plus how many? Eight, 27, 27 stacks of glass bottles is plenty of glass bottles for each brewing stand, plenty of storage. But in case you need more, of course, you can just add more right on top or maybe to the side of these double chests or whatever. Then, since we want to reduce as much uh, as we can the lag that this system will output, which I don't think will be a lot because it's a very small system, but in case you have problems with it, just add some composters right on top of these hoppers, of this line of hoppers, and we're also gonna seize the opportunity to cover these droppers with a redstone dust line. We're also gonna count one dropper here after the observer, and in the next one we're gonna place a block right there with a redstone dust also on top of it. And actually, we're also going to count 2 droppers to the left, and on the third dropper, we're going to place a temporary block and a solid block right on top of it, so that this line doesn't connect with another redstone line that we're going to have right below here. Before we return to that part though, I want to make a little system down here for the minecarts, the hopper minecarts that we're going to use to collect all the potions that the brewing stands are going to output. We're going to place 2 hoppers right on this side of the double chest that we placed down here. Then we're going to place a honey block right on top of the right hopper. Then we're going to place a block right here. I prefer to use glass blocks, but it can be any block that you like. And then we're going to cover these um, or well, surround this hopper with some glass blocks just like so. By the way, I use glass blocks because if we use a solid block right here, we're not gonna be able to open the chests. So glass block is better. But again, you can use any transparent block. Then we're gonna place another glass block right here and another one right here. After you've done that, you want to grab a rail. It can be a power rail or a normal rail, any rail that you want basically. And you're gonna place it on top of this glass sorry, of this glass block right here. This power rail is gonna be waterlogged, so yeah, you might want to close off also the system with another glass block right here. We'll leave it open for now on this block because we're gonna grab a cauldron and we're gonna place it right next to this glass block and right next to the rail right here. By the way, this rail has to be facing that way so that the system works fine. Then we're gonna lava bucket the cauldron and we're gonna waterlog the rail. So yeah, the water will flow to the right on top of those 2 hoppers. The next thing you want to do is grab some stairs and some slabs. I prefer to use quartz, smooth quartz, because it's very nice, but you can use any stairs that you want and any slabs that you want. You're gonna place a stair block right on top of that rail and a glass block, a slab block right on top of the cauldron to basically cover it. Right after you've done that, you're gonna come down here and right here on this block, we're gonna leave an air block right here and aligned to the repeater, you're gonna place the block right there. Then you're gonna place no, actually not a dispenser, a dropper facing upward on top of that block. Then you're gonna place 2 hoppers facing into the side of the dropper, just like so. And to reduce the lag, which is not a lot, but still, we're gonna place a composter right on top of that hopper. The next part is really simple. We're just gonna create a water channel right here. So we're gonna place 2, 4, 6, and 7 blocks right to this side of the dropper. Then we're gonna place a temporary block right there and 2 glass blocks to each side of the temporary block. Then we're gonna continue the channel all the way right here, and we're gonna add an extra block on this side of the channel. We can now just place a water source right on that block, and it's gonna flow all the way till the end. At the end here, we're gonna grab some droppers, actually 3 droppers to be exact, and we're gonna place a temporary block right there with a dropper to the side, and we're gonna place the 2 other droppers on top of it. All the 3 droppers, be sure that they are facing upward. Then you're gonna grab a hopper and you're gonna place it right on the side of the bottom dropper with a brick wall. I mean, a wall. It doesn't have to be a brick wall. Right on top of the hopper, just to prevent the items to flow out of the system. The next thing that we're gonna do is grab a block and put it right there with a comparator on top of the block, right coming out right out of the bottom dropper. This is just to detect when the dropper has some items on it and can become another dropper. Then we're gonna place two redstone dust right next to the comparator and a block in front of the comparator. Then you're gonna grab a target block and you're gonna place it right here next to the redstone dust so that it connects to it. The next thing that we're gonna do is grab a power rail and we're gonna place it on top of this block, and the last thing is we're gonna place an observer facing outside of the power rail into this second dropper. What it does is basically whenever an item falls into this bottom dropper, it will shoot right onto the top, as you can see. Oh, by the way, you might want to change this comparator into subtract mode with the right click. Now, I should say this little system right here is to break minecarts, break copper minecarts, and they're gonna be inputted into this dropper. And of course, it's gonna be dispensed into the water stream, come down here, fall into these droppers, and yeah, it's gonna be shoot up into a dispenser that we're gonna have here facing inward, so that the hopper minecarts can be dispensed again into the system and can grab all the potions that are being output. Of course, to shoot items out of this dropper, we need a little system here that can detect when there are items inside of it. So we're gonna come down here and we're gonna place an observer facing downward, and then we're gonna place an observer facing out and also facing that way. And yeah, we're gonna place a comparator right on top of this dropper, of course facing out of the dropper so that it can read it. And then we're gonna come to the other side and we're gonna place a sticky piston right in front of that hopper facing sideways, and we're gonna come down here and we're gonna place first an observer right here facing into that solid block, and then an observer facing out, or well, to the other side, right on this block, leaving an air gap between the sticky piston and this observer. That way, whenever we have items inside of that dropper, they're gonna just be shoot out, and they're gonna end up in the dispenser right here. Actually, let's already fill up this dispenser with 9 hopper minecarts to have them there for later. The bottom part of the system is almost done. The only thing that we need now is to basically detect when this large chest is completely full and stop the system. So right now we are already detecting the fullness of the chest, but we are detecting when it has items in it, and we don't want that. We want to detect when the whole chest is completely full. So to do so, we're gonna have a block here and a redstone dust right next to this comparator. As you can see, it's gonna connect, and then we're gonna place just a redstone torch right there next to the dropper. By the way, it has to be placed on the dropper, not right here, for example, because it's not gonna, if it's placed here, it's not gonna allow the dropper to be triggered because it's already been powered. So it has to be to the side of the dropper, just like so, and that way we can still use it to dispense items. As you can see, the items are being shot out sometimes of the canal, so we want to cover that up. And also we're gonna use that cover to place some rails where the minecarts are gonna have a track on. So we're just gonna cover the whole water stream with some blocks, and also we're gonna cover this composter and this wall that we have here with some blocks. Now on the 6th block, so let's count 2, 4, 6, we're gonna place a redstone block instead, and then we're gonna cover the whole line of blocks with some power rails, just like so. After that, so that the minecarts can start running when they're dispensed, we're gonna place a solid block right on that side of the rail line. And yeah, we'll get to that in a moment again. But before we do, you can notice that these observers don't have an input exactly. So we want to do that with a redstone line, so all the observers can get triggered and also updated at the on the right order. Sorry. So yeah, redstone line right here below the observers. And to give an input to this redstone line, because we want to trigger the observers 3 times, we want to extend the redstone line by 1 and then bring it up another block just like so. To be able to trigger the redstone line 3 times, we're gonna place a temporary block right there and an observer facing into this block, and then another observer right on top of it facing into this redstone dust. Then we're gonna grab some redstone lamps, actually just one, and we're gonna place it right to the side of this observer with a redstone dust in the dot mode. You can just change the cross with a right click to dot mode. Let me show you here. You just give it a right click to change it to dot mode right on top of that redstone lamp. Then you're gonna place another block right here, and you're gonna place 2 repeaters facing into the redstone lamp on 3 ticks each, right on top of those blocks. And then you're gonna place another block right behind this repeater, just like so. To give a redstone signal though to that block, we're gonna have a sticky piston facing downward right next to this composter with an observer facing also into that hopper, just like so. Then we're gonna come here and we're gonna place a block right next to that other composter, and we're gonna place a redstone torch facing into the sticky piston, and it's gonna trigger. And yeah, maybe you were able to hear, we are triggering the droppers 3 times. Let's hear it. Yeah, 3 times. Perfect. The next thing that we want to do is a little clock so that the minecarts can be dispensed and be able to pick up the items, because one minecart can hold 5 items each, and as you can see we have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15 potions. So just one minecart is not gonna cut it. We need 3 minecarts to be dispensed to be able to pick up all the potions that have been brewed. So to make the clock, we're gonna place a red node block, sorry, right next to this observer that just got extended. And then we're gonna place a redstone dust in the dot mode right on top of that node block. So after you place the redstone dust on top of that node block, we're gonna place a solid block right below that node block. Then we're gonna place 2 observers facing out of that node block and a solid block in front of them. We're gonna grab another node block and we're gonna place it right below that solid block, and 2 more observers facing out of that last node block. Those were a lot of node block words. Anyways, the next thing that we're gonna do is come right on top of this block, and we're gonna place a comparator facing that way with a block right in front of it and a redstone dust on top of it. Then we're gonna place a block on top of the comparator and another block right behind it, and we're gonna cover those also with some redstone dust. And as you can see, this is the redstone dust that I was talking before, that I was talking about before. If we didn't have that solid block on top of it, it would connect with the one on top of the droppers. So we need that block right there. Oh, sorry, it's been a while since I've done a block by block tutorial. One loses practice, you know. Anyways, the next thing you want to do is place a repeater on 2 ticks right behind this redstone dust, and then another redstone dust right behind that repeater. And as you can see, when this observer is being extended, it's gonna power this line on top here and this line on top, at the bottom here. So we're gonna power both of them with just that one observer. The whole system is almost done by now. It should look something like this from this side, and it should look something like this from this side. So the very last thing that we need is to place a redstone line that will power this dispenser to be able to dispense the hopper minecarts. So we're gonna place a solid block right there, and we're gonna place 4 more solid blocks right here. Well, actually, they don't have to be solid blocks specifically, but yeah. some blocks here, and then we're gonna cover them with a redstone line facing into this solid block. This has to be a solid block, by the way. Alright, having double checked the system, I think it is in fact completely done. We just need to fill up a little, some container blocks so that the system is really complete. So first of all, we've already filled up this dispenser with 9 hopper minecarts. In case you didn't do so, you might want to do it right now. The droppers and hoppers at the bottom, those don't need to be filled up with anything, but the droppers here at the top do need to be filled up with some ingredients. So yeah, let's fill them up right now, right? I'm gonna grab some nether wart because it's the most common ingredient in the potion brewing. As you can see, they're in pairs. I already mentioned this, so hopefully you can remember. This is the first pair of droppers. So in the left dropper, we're gonna place the first ingredient of the first potion. Then on the next pair, also on the left dropper, we're gonna place the first ingredient, and so on and so forth with the rest of the droppers. Of course, my first ingredient for all of them is gonna be nether wart in this case. So I'm gonna grab all my nether wart and place them in the left droppers. Now on the right droppers of each of the pairs, we're gonna place the actual ingredients or the second ingredients for your potions. So yeah, we're gonna be placing some golden carrots for night vision. We're gonna be placing some pufferfish for water breathing, gas tears for regeneration, sugar for swiftness, and magma cream for fire resistance. We need also one last little thing for, well, to be able to brew the potions, and those are water bottles, as I've mentioned before. And we're gonna fill up these 5 droppers with water bottles, as well as the hoppers, and as well as the barrels that we have on top of the hoppers, all completely full of glass bottles. And that way we have a lot of a lot of glass bottles that we can use to brew potions. And I don't think, unless you need like thousands of potions, I don't think you'll ever run out of glass bottles in here if you fill the whole thing up. So having filled up all the droppers, hoppers, and barrels from with glass bottles. By the way, be sure to not fill the dispensers or these hoppers down here with glass bottles because you're gonna break the system. It's just the dropper, the hopper, and the barrels here. So yeah, having done so, we need to come a little bit to the left here, and we're gonna right click on this left hopper that is below the redstone torch right here, and we're gonna fill it with 51 items exactly. So like so. They're gonna stay there because of the redstone torch, but yeah, be sure to fill them up to fill it up with 51 items exactly. So yeah, basically that's the whole system is complete. Now we can just turn it on with a right click on this lever, and you can see that some hopper minecarts are gonna be dispensed, and right after the water bottles are gonna be filling the brewing stands, and the ingredients are gonna come down, and yeah, some potions are gonna be start brewing. And right after all the potions can stop brewing or finish brewing, we're gonna see that they're gonna be collected with some hopper minecarts, right like that. 3 hopper minecarts collect all the potions, and immediately after, a new potion starts brewing. All the potions that the minecarts collected end up in this double chest at the back here, and the hopper minecarts end up in the dispenser that they were originally in. Yeah, by the way, whenever this chest is completely full, the system will automatically stop. I will show you after these potions are done brewing. Alright, so this is the last one that we're gonna see happening because the chest is completely full, and you can see that we also have 3 potions left, or 3 extra potions in each of the hoppers. And yeah, it's a double chest. It was quite fast actually. And you can see also that a new potion has started brewing in each of the brewing stands, but because this comparator is detecting that the chest is completely full and sending up a signal into the redstone torch right here, The system is just gonna finish up brewing the potion. Actually, we can see it in a few seconds. There we go. All the potions have finished up brewing, but they're not gonna be collected until the next time. So if we take out some items of the double chest, we can see the minecarts immediately appearing to take up the potions. There we go. Yeah, they pick them up, and the process starts once again. And yeah, this will continue. Actually, we can see the chest is already completely full again. And yeah, we can see the process continue. You can just take out some potions from the chest, and whenever the comparator detects that there is a space in the chest, the the minecarts are gonna come and pick up the next batch of potions. So yeah, that's it for the video. I'm gonna include the probably the Lightmatic schematic. As I said, I already have it here. It's this one. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I think to show you the material list, which I was gonna do. So here it is. You need 60 solid blocks, 41 redstone dust, 37 hoppers, 30 glass or transparent blocks. I do recommend that you use glass because of the water. 19 droppers, 18 observers, 16 composters, 12 power rails, 6 dispensers, 6 comparators, 6 resin torches, 5 barrels, 5 brewing stands, 5 leaves, 5 repeaters, 3 sticky pistons, 2 chests, 2 node blocks, 1 block of redstone, 1 cauldron, 1 honey block, 1 lever, 1 redstone lamp, 1 slab, 1 stair, 1 wall, 1 target block, and 1 water bucket, which is actually not true. But the Lightmatica just detects this water bucket that we have here, but we actually need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 water buckets. Also, you need 1 lava bucket for the cauldron, and you need, well, all the water, I mean all the glass bottles, all the ingredients for the system, 51 items that you are gonna input into this hopper right here, 9 hopper minecarts, and yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, that's all that you need for the system, and yeah, it's pretty cheap. Also, I don't think you need a lot of stuff, and it's pretty productive. So yeah, once again, guys, I hope you like it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. Also, please consider subscribing for some more content like this. And yeah, happy holidays, guys. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy 2023. Hopefully, it's a great day, great year for you. And yeah, have a great rest of the week. Have a good day today, and I'll see you in the next video when I see you. Goodbye.